It's Derby Girls Brigade. On behalf of myself and all the team, we're missing you loads. It's not been a good year and we can't wait to hopefully get back together with you again next year sometime. Stay safe and have a happy and blessed Christmas.
Hi, my name's Graham Watkins. I'm the minister at Boulton Lane Baptist Church, and I just started getting involved with helping Diane and others at the Girls Brigade at the point where the COVID crisis hit. We would have loved to have done a Christingle service this Tuesday as we did last Christmas. So the next best thing was we thought if we made this video, you can hear about the understanding of what a Christingle is. Eliza, who works with me, will take you through how to make one, and Diane will have delivered you a Christmas card and also a kit to make the Christingle yourself. It would be great if you could join in by doing that.
Today we are going to make something delicious that reminds us of the meaning of Christmas and God's love to us. It is called a Christingle, which means Christ's light.
A long time ago, there was a man of God called John, a bishop of the church, who lived in what was called Moravia and is now the Czech Republic. He spent much of his time telling people about how much God loved them. But he was a man ahead of his time and knew that children, and in fact adults, need a good visual way to remember things. So John prayed that he might have a good idea, and that is exactly what God did. Such a good idea that it's still used a lot today.
We see an orange, round and full of goodness and sweetness, just like the world God originally made. Then we see a red ribbon around it. This reminds us that his love stretches all around the earth, that he loves everyone, everywhere.
We have an example here of the Christingle we are all going to make shortly. But first, we're going to explain what it all means.
God made the world, and God said it was good. He then poured out all his gifts on the beautiful world he created.
He gave it light and water and sky.
He gave it plants of all sorts, every seed-bearing thing, trees and flowers.
He then made the sun and moon to mark out the seasons, and he flung stars into space, giving light and beauty.
Then he created swimming things and flying things, like dolphins and fish and octopus and owls and bald eagles and robins.
And God made animals of all kinds. He gave us leopards, sheep, bearded dragons, elephants, and dogs.
And God gave us, humans.
God gave these gifts to the world and to us, and he gave us people to enjoy them and look after them, and for us to enjoy each other's company and look after each other.
What a lot of giving!
So if you're watching this Christingle with people at home, and if you're not and you're on your own, but you are looking at the screen now and seeing all the different people that are on the screen, just remember each and every one of them are God's gift to you. Even occasionally, maybe, if you don't think so.
So in our Christingle that we will make, God's gifts will be represented by all the sweets we put on cocktail sticks, representing the four corners of the earth and the four seasons, representing God's love in every aspect of our world and our year.
But some people forgot they were supposed to be generous givers, just like God, as we are made in his image, and they started grabbing greedily for themselves.
But that is not how God made the world to be. We had changed, and some people started to do really bad things, like kill and steal and lie. So God realized he needed to save the world, to make it beautiful and loving again.
So he sent Jesus to light up the world and show how they could change from being greedy grabbers to generous givers, to light up every situation of darkness, whether through violence, greed, or addiction, or loneliness, or sickness. In our small Christingles we're making, we will use a candle on top as a symbol of the light of the world.
But there is even more than that. Jesus knew that the only way to give God's love to everyone in the world, to take the punishment for everything wrong people were doing, to start afresh, was to die on a cross for us all. This way, he defeated evil and showed us a new way forward of love. Because he said the greatest way that you could show your love for anyone was to die for them.
So now we all have his love and forgiveness, and he asks us to share it around with everyone near and far.
But he has created us to be like Jesus, to be generous givers, and to be a light shining in the darkness like Jesus is himself, a light to all.
Have you all got an orange? Okay, that's really great. Does your orange sit nicely when you put it on your plate? If it doesn't, then you might just need to cut a little bit off the bottom of your orange to make it nice and flat. Mine's actually really good because it's already very nice and flat. So that's the important bit. You need to make sure that it's not going to all topple over. The thing that we remember is the fact that the orange is like the world, the goodness of the world, just as there's the goodness of the orange. And we're going to look at doing what God does, which is that he wraps the world round with all of his love. And so hopefully in your little pack, you will have got some red tape, and you just need to look at getting some red tape and wrapping it around your orange right in the middle. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off because I've got a whole roll here. And look at wrapping it all the way round. In the middle. Stuart and Carol, are you doing yours? You already done yours? If when you've wrapped your love around, God's love around, just show it so that I can see that we're all up to speed. Thank you very much, Jenny and Pete, Pat, Chandra and Roger and Carol, the Joneses. Who have we got left? Ruth, Graham, thank you very much. Graham and Bernice are on track. Marilyn and Matt are on track. And Darren, you're on track. That's excellent. The boys are now on track at, yep, Brax and Ryan, everyone. Ruth, are you on track? Sheila? Sheila? Okay, that's fine. Right, so the next bit that we're going to do is the bit, unless like me, you've eaten, well done, Ruth, you've made it, excellent, yay! Is we're going to do put on the four corners of the world and the four seasons with all the fruits, all the gifts that God has given us. So you need your 4 cocktail sticks. This is the fun bit. As I said, if you haven't already eaten your dolly mixture or your sweets, which I have to say I was eating a lot of them, and you need to be skewering those onto your cocktail sticks. Be careful of these, young Ryan and Brax particularly. If your dolly mixture falls apart, don't worry, just eat it. And just take in God's goodness into you straight away. So we want to do up 4. However many you want to put on there, I'm not sure how many you've got on there. I just look at putting 3 or so on there. Yeah, see, mine's all falling apart. I'm going to have to eat them all. This is fun. I'm enjoying doing this. I don't know about you. All of God's good gifts. I have to get some more dolly mixture now. I'm cheating. I got a whole bag. Because our God is a generous, abundant God. How are we doing? And then we stick them into the 4 corners near the top here. Like a little Sputnik, I always think. How are we doing? Have we all got our Sputniks? If you want to just raise them up once you finish, thank you. So we can see some of you are still carrying on. Excellent, Judy and Bernice and Graham and Stuart and Carol, Jenny and Pete and Gary, the Adams family there. Who else have we got? Matt, how are you doing? Darren, well done. Judy is eating. I'm not sure what she's eating. Probably eating more dolly mixture like I am. It's very tough being a presenter of Christingles. You have to test drive all of the bits to make sure that they are just as good as God intended them to be. Now we're going to be ready to do the bit. Now, if you be very careful, if you're over a certain age, this will be fine. If you're under a certain age, like 60, be careful with sharp objects. But you want to just cut a little of a cross in the top of your orange, okay? It'll make it easier just to put your candle in. And then we're going to look at putting in the candle. I'm actually having trouble with mine. Now, you will have received, I think, a little piece of foil to look at putting on the top and then pushing in with the candle underneath it so it will catch any drips of that. I'm not going to worry about that because I've got mine on a lovely plate here and it'll catch it anyway. And with the wax, I'm going to be fine. I don't think I'm going to worry about the wax dripping on me. But the idea of putting the foil there first is to catch any hot wax, particularly if the children are going to be holding their Christingle. I've got a slightly bigger candle perhaps than you have, so I might need to make a bigger hole just so that you could see it more easily on screen. I'm going to macerate this now. There we go.
I hope that you enjoyed the video and were able to make your Christingle. Why not turn out the lights, take a picture of yourself like I've done here on the screen, and then post it on Facebook and encourage Diane that you got the kit and you were able to take part in this way.